Hi FlossTube, it's Lorna the Ladybird Stitcher. Today is Monday the 14th of August and I'm here for my first August update. My daughter is having a nap, so hopefully we won't be interrupted today. I want to thank everyone for watching my last video, for commenting, for your thumbs up and for your subscriptions. I've got a lot to cover today, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I had a few questions from my last video. And there was also a question from my FlossTube number 42, so it was going back a little while. But Girly Hobbies asked, you said you started the first project on linen, which did you switch to? I was going to be starting a project on 28 count linen and I never used it before, but now that I've seen your video, I am wondering if I should use another. Which would you recommend? Girly Hobbies is referring to my Story Keep Some Enchanted Evening, which looked like this. I did start that one on, I think it was casual linen, on 25 count casual linen, and I was working that one on 2/1 full crosses. I found it really bulky and I didn't like working on linen to do a full coverage piece. So I restarted it after I'd done about maybe half a page, maybe a little bit less. I restarted it on Lugana, 25 count, and I did 1/1 full crosses, and I preferred that. I finished it and I enjoyed it a lot more. Now, that was my experience. I'm not necessarily saying that everyone should use even weave over linen to do a full coverage cross stitch. I just found that for me that's what worked best. So yeah, you should probably do a test patch and see what you prefer rather than go on my experience. Okay, and then from my last video, Sophie's Girl, or Anne-Marie, asked, Needle in a Haystack has the product, or she mentioned that Needle in a Haystack has the fabric Velcro on their website, so that's something to keep in mind if you're looking for the Velcro for the Easy Stitch frame. Stephanie from Miss Oh So Crafty also said that she buys big rolls of Velcro tape at the craft store or Amazon. And Judy Odell of Just a Thought Needlework sells industrial strength Velcro tape for use with her new fabric stretcher frames. It's $2.50 a yard, US dollars. It's so you can get black for the frame and white for the fabric. The black tape on the rods works with the old tape on existing whips. So there's another option for Easy Stitch. And Sandra Stitching asked, American Dream Products have a lot of people gave me advice on where to get the Velcro for the Easy Stitch frame. So Sandra Stitching said American Dream Products have the Velcro on their website on 28th of July. The gentleman who makes the rods and frames is of retirement age, which is why they're closing. And 3 or more packs of Velcro is $8.43 US per roll, but you have to order soon. I found that they're not actually shipping to Australia with that deal, so I did try to get it from 123 Stitch and I waited over a month and they still didn't have any, so I just told them to cancel my order. So, and then Dawn Tatman asked, I saw that you have a lap frame that you sit on. I have been looking at that online to buy, wondering, does it bother your legs to sit on? I have arthritis and worry it will hurt after a while. Dawn, it doesn't hurt me. I don't find that it tires me at all, but I wouldn't recommend going with that product because, as I've just mentioned, they are closing and you'll probably find it hard to find rods that are compatible with the product in future and Velcro tape for the future. So I'd probably look for something different. So that's all the questions and the comments, and thank you everyone who gave me suggestions on the Velcro tape as well. Because yeah, in the future we will need to find something else to work with that. Okay, so first I've got 2 FFOs. So the first one is Daughters Are a Special Joy. Well, it was actually called Daughters by Lizzie Kate. And that's it there. I've stitched this for my daughter. Her birthday is at the end of this month. She's turning 3. And I'll be giving this to her. And then I also finished this one. This is going to be my wedding sampler because I've never done one before. Our 10th wedding anniversary is coming up in September, and I plan to have this hanging up by my 10th wedding anniversary. So that was To Have and To Hold by Country Cottage Needleworks. I'm really sorry about that reflection there, but I've got windows on either side of me, so I can't really, that's probably the best angle there. But yeah, both of those were self-framed from frames I bought at our Kmart for about, I think the smallest one was $5 and the bigger one was about $12, I think. So very reasonable framing, reasonably priced framing. Okay, now for my whips. Actually, I did have a finish, a very small finish. I pulled out Gingerbread Village and it looked like this the last time you saw it. And I wanted to work on Gingerbread House 7 and I started it and finished it. So, oops, so that's what it looks like now. And there's only one house left to go, and then I'll just need to go back and just fill in the back stitching and the French knots, which I'll probably substitute for beads. Gingerbread House 7 is that one. On there. This felt like it was taking forever. Yeah, if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I'm not really enjoying this piece. I'm finding it very tedious to work on, but I only have one house left to go after this, so I'm just going to stick with it. I love the way it looks. I'm just not thrilled with the way it works up. So, yeah, there it is. So this is Gingerbread House Village from Country Cottage Needleworks. This piece is a 32 count Lugana in opalescent. It's called English Manor, I think. Oh, no, sorry, it's called Manor House, and it was dyed by Stitches and Spice in Australia. They're no longer trading, unfortunately. But that's the fabric itself is fine. I'm just not thrilled with all the whites and browns, and the fact that the two different hand-dyed browns or over-dyed browns look exactly the same. Yeah, the Weeks Dye Works that they've asked to stitch this with isn't variegated at all in my experience. Or at least the skeins that I got weren't very variegated. So yeah, and it looks like I've lost the needle. Oh no, it's there. Sorry about that. Yeah, there is a new Country Cottage House Needleworks series. I'm sure most of you have seen it. It's called, I'll put the name here, but I was actually really interested in that because I liked the look of the first house that they had on there, or the first building. And what actually stopped me was that they said I think it was 5 skeins of white were needed, excuse me, to stitch that. And when I saw that, I said, not for me. I'm just, yeah, that one I'm finding very tedious. So I'm looking forward to having it done. I wish I could just wave a magic wand and have the last one done so that I can say, right, it's finished. But anyway. The next one I worked on, sorry, these aren't in any particular order, but I also spent a weekend on Juliet by Tilton Crafts, and it will look like this when it's finished. Now this one, I think last time I mentioned, if it ever gets finished, that I didn't mean that I was going to give it up. A lot of people mentioned, no, keep going. I wasn't going to give it up, it's just expressing my frustration at how long it's taking. But it's a full coverage piece, it's there for the long haul. So anyway, here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. and here it is now. I completed this column, and then instead of working in columns with this one, I started doing it in cross country, and that's purely because most of the colours, as you can see, are kind of in an arch form. So it just felt more natural to work, to keep going. If I had the colour on my needle, I wasn't just going to do 2 stitches there and then just let it dangle here. I just thought it was more natural to just keep working on the same colour. So that's what I've been doing there. So I don't know how many stitches are there. It makes it a lot harder to calculate how many stitches, of course, because you're not working in 10 by 10 blocks. But yeah, I am still enjoying this one. I'm not going to give it up, so don't worry about that if you like it. But it is taking a long time. But, you know, it's full coverage, like I said. It's there for the long haul. So this is worked, it's 1/1 on 25 count Lugana in white. And that's Juliet by Chilton Crafts, and it's out of print. So there's that one. Okay, I also worked on Happily Ever After by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And here's what it looked like last time you saw it. Now this is a mystery sale, so I can't show you what it will look like when it's finished. But the last block that came out was Aladdin's lamp. Is that right? Aladdin's lamp, I think. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So here it is. Sorry, I had a mental block. There it is there. And that's the most recent block with a green genie. So that's what it looks like so far. So I've still got this block to go, and then the last 3 at the bottom. And this one is on Ice Ice Baby by Colour Cascade Fabrics on 28 count Lugana 2/2. And that is entirely stitched in DMCs. And I haven't made any substitutions to any of the colours on that one. So stitched as charted. And then I pulled out Wisteria Welcome by Mill Hill. And this is what it will look like when it's finished. This is just a really good kind of project to carry on not public transport, to carry while I'm driving, or while my husband's driving and I'm sitting in the passenger seat. Here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here's where it is now. So I think all I've done is just finished off the green. So I'm pretty sure that colour's actually done now. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. It's not something I pull out if I'm at home, but if I'm in the car, it's just easy to pick up and work on. And then my favourite one is Mirabilia, Lady of the Mist. I actually finished the stitching. I still need to do most of the beading. Here's where it was the last time you saw it. And this is where it is now. This is on 28 count casual linen on Atlantis by Stitches and Spice. So all the stitching is done, including the border, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I redid the beading on her hair and on her earring, and then on her gloves as well. There's beads there, so that's all done. And then I started beading the ribbons here, and these beads are really large. I don't know if you can tell. They're really, really big beads. but they look really, I'm enjoying the way they look. Now this project is full of beads. It's, if you look at, see the skirt, all these swirly bits that look like they're missing a stitch, they're all beads. So there is a ton of beading on this one. But I am hoping to finish it this month. So hopefully by the time I see you again, I'll have this done. I tried to iron it to get most of the creases out, but since it's hand-dyed fabric, I didn't want to use steam, so it's still got a few creases. And of course, while I'm beading, I'm going to crease it again, but at least most of the creases are out, I think. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with the way that turned out. I'm thrilled, really, really thrilled. So yeah, and I've decided that there is a group on Facebook. It's one of the Mirabilia groups, and I'll put it here on the screen. They're having a Mervember, which is going to be Mirabilia Mermaids or Nora Corbett Mermaids, and you start one on the 1st of November. And I've decided to do Emerald Mermaid, which is the only mermaid I have of Nora's, and I'll be starting that one in November. I haven't decided on the fabric or anything like that, but yeah, that's what I've decided to work on for November. And then I got quite a bit of haul, simply because I had a lot on order that all kind of came at once. I was waiting on quite a lot, and it all arrived during the last couple of weeks. First of all, I placed an order with JK's Cross Stitching Supplies. They are an Australian company that trade on Facebook, purely on Facebook. But they had a sale on a couple of weeks ago, where it was basically, they had a bunch of kits, and it was one-off, most of them were one-offs, and it was first in, best dressed. The first person to comment would get the kit, would be able to buy the kit. I'm not usually one to buy kits anymore unless they're Mill Hill kits, but when I saw this one, I just had to get it. It was probably about $70 cheaper than the cheapest I've ever seen it. This is a Thea Governor, and if you know anything about her Cities range, you know how expensive they are. The price tag actually says $160 on there. I got it for $50 Australian, so it's extremely good value. This is St. Petersburg, and you've heard me rave on about how much I love that city. It is on Black Ada. I chose the black over the white because I thought the colours would really pop. That's the back of it. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. So I don't know when I'll start it, but I'm really happy to have it in my stash. And then this is Stephanie, Miss So So Crafty's fault. I saw her, she was stitching on the Angel Trilogy by Mill Hill, and I went on 123 Stitch, I couldn't find it. I think I went on Stitching Bits and Bobs, couldn't find them. And I asked again JK's Cross Stitching Supplies if she can get them in, and she said it will take me about 6 weeks, but yes, I can get them in. And I don't know if it took 6 weeks or a month, or it did take a while, but I got them all. So this one is Serafina, and if you want to see them stitched up looking amazing, watch Stephanie at Miss So So Crafty's video, because they are spectacular. They're really, really nice. This one is Gabrielle and Angelina. So really happy to have those in my stash as well. And then I ordered, and from JK's Cross Stitching Supplies. So she always sends a needle minder as a compliment, just to say thank you. And this is the one she sent me this time. It's a little Mickey Mouse ears. I haven't shown my daughter that yet because she's a bit Mickey Mouse crazy at the moment. Now, Heaven and Earth Designs have a rewards program. They run it twice a year. So if you send in a photo of your finished Heaven and Earth designs that you actually purchased, so it wasn't a rack, you have to have purchased it, and if you have the order number, and if you can show a photo of it as a whip and send in a photo of it completed, you can get a reward chart or a chart of your choice to the same value as the chart that you stitched. Now, because I finished Story Keep Some Enchanted Evening, and that was purchased by me, it was on sale when I bought it, but that didn't seem to matter with 123 Stitch. They still allowed me to get another Story Keep, and I chose this one, Story Keep Secret Door. Absolutely love it, and I've decided that I'm going to stitch that for the Hay Challenge, which runs until the 1st of November, so I've got a little bit of time on that one. And what it is checkerboard but feathered, so the 10 by 10 squares are actually feathered. So there's a diagram on the Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook group to show how you're supposed to work that. I've never done feathering before, but I thought I'd give it a go because I haven't done it before. And then I ordered some 25 count Lugana from Victoria House Needleworks. They cut it in centimetres based on how much you need. So I just got half width of 30 centimetres. So it's just white Lugana. So I will start that shortly. And then my Colour Cascade Fabrics order finally came in, and it is this one. It's Gold Digger, old map style. And it is a beautiful colour. I'm using this one to stitch Little House Needleworks Yesteryear on it, and this will be a present for my dad's birthday at the end of this year, if I get it done. I'm hoping that I'll have it done by then. This, when these come, they are usually folded in quarters. So they have really hard creases in the middle. And I know that because it's hand-dyed fabric, you're not supposed to wash it. Tammy does say not to wash these. And I thought, well, it's going to be really hard to get the creases out after I finish stitching on it. So I decided to immerse it in some cold water and try to get the stitches out that way. I didn't manage. I actually managed to put more creases in, but at least this way I'll be able to iron it before I start working on it. And I'll probably use my scroll frame so that I don't get any creases from Q-snaps on it. I was watching, what's her name? I can't remember the name. Hand-Dyed Diva. That's right, that's the name of her channel, Hand-Dyed Diva. She was actually wondering about Colour Cascade fabrics to see whether they run. And this one, the colour from, so you can see it's a fairly neutral colour. It's beautiful, beautiful coloured fabric. But she was wondering if it is actually a runny dye that's used on it. So if it does actually run. And I can say from my experience, the water that I dumped this in turned yellow when I finished with it. So the dye definitely ran. The piece is still fine, still looks fine, but I definitely wouldn't have stitched on it and then put it in water because that would have just ruined the stitching. So yeah, I'm going to start on that piece probably as soon as I finish Lady of the Mist, the beading on that one. And then I got my July fabric of the month, which is Fairies Wear Boots. And this is in Monaco, 28 count Monaco in plain. And then also from Tammy, I ordered Just Cross Stitch. This is the June 2017 issue of Just Cross Stitch. These took a while to get to her, and I mainly wanted it for the mermaid on the front, and I've had a look through and I think that's probably all I'll be stitching from it. There's nothing else that I absolutely I mean, other things are nice in it, but that's probably my favourite one. And I also liked, excuse me, sorry. I also like these. It's called Love Entangled, and they're seahorses. And they are designed by Amanda Noto. And the mermaid is a Joan Elliott. It's called Dancing Mermaid. I don't know if you can get it anywhere else other than on this magazine. And there she is there. And it's a fairly small piece. It is 12 and 7/8 inches by 8 and 3/8 inches, sorry, 8 and 5/8 inches on 28 count 2/2. So it's fairly small. Yeah, that's that one. I don't think I will order this again. Just nothing to my taste in it. And then my 123 stitch order finally arrived. Once I told them to cancel my Easy Stitch Velcro, it came within less than a week from America. So I ordered two sets of beading needles, and they're 2-pack, so I got 4 beading needles. You won't be able to see those, so I don't know why I'm showing you those. I got a snag nabbit because I still haven't found my other one that went missing. I'm really hoping no one ends up sitting on it or stepping on it, because that would be really painful, I think. But yeah, these are very handy to have. They actually help if you've pulled a thread through. So when you're stitching, when you're bringing your needle up, sometimes some thread from the back comes up with it. This will actually push it back in, and they're really handy to have. So I always like to have one with my stitching. And then I got some 28 count Ren Lugana. This is Ren, I think it's Picture This Plus. I'm not 100% sure, but it was on their website. It's just a neutral. And I also got some Ivory Lugana 20 count, and I have a plan for this one. I think I got this one for the Long Dog Sampler Day and Night, so I think I'll be using that one. It's an 18 by 27, so it's that border. Yeah, so that's all my haul for this month, for this fortnight. So I don't think I'll have as much to show you in my next update. Now, my plans for the rest of August. I want to finish the beading on Lady of the Mist, because then that will be finished. I want to finish, travel through Europe. The August block, Bern in Switzerland, was released last Friday, and I would like to stitch that. So I'll probably take that on as soon as I finish my Lady of the Mist, or maybe in conjunction, I don't know. So I'd like to finish that one. I want to start the yesteryear piece for my dad, and I want to start the Story Keep Secret Door for the challenge, Heaven and Earth Designs challenge. So I'd like to work on that. And then books. I finished The Handmaid's Tale. I enjoyed it. It did leave a lot of questions unanswered though. So that's The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. The series, which if you're in Australia, you can get it on SBS On Demand at the moment. It's completely free. I don't know if any of the other, like Netflix or Amazon or anything like that, is showing it as well. But yeah, I just got it on SBS On Demand. They have the whole 10 series, and I believe it's starting again. Like they're showing it again on Wednesday. My dad knows that I've been raving about it, and he saw an ad for it on SBS, and he said it's going to be on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure that would be still season 1. I don't think they've even started filming season 2. I mentioned last time that I was up to season 5, up to episode 5, and that it was basically exactly what the book was like. As soon as I said that and I went on to read, sorry about that, my iPad ran out of storage, so you're now on my iPhone. So I was talking about The Handmaid's Tale, and I was saying that even though in my last video I mentioned that the TV series and the book were almost exactly the same, as soon as I said that and I went on to finish the TV series and finish reading the book, they went on two different paths, and then they kind of came back again. But I found that, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I found that the book left a lot of unanswered questions. It kind of tried to answer them at the end, but it didn't really satisfy me. I was still kind of up in the air of what happened to these characters. It just left them hanging. So, so yeah, I probably give that one about 4 out of 5. I did enjoy reading it. It was a nice read. I just wish that when I finish a book, I like to know what happened to all the characters, and that one just left me sort of wondering. So, and then I also read Heidi by Joanna Spyri. This is a childhood favourite of mine, but I've only ever read the picture books before, so this was the first time I'd picked up the novel. It's not a long novel. It was 280 pages of very medium-sized font, so it's not a long novel, but I really enjoyed this one. I would give this a 5-star. It made me cry, it made me laugh, it just had everything in it, and it was just a really sweet story. So Heidi by Joanna Spyri, really enjoyed that. And then at the moment I'm reading Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. She wrote The Girl on the Train. Like everyone else has said, the number of characters in this is a lot. I used Tina from Simply in Stitches. I used her trick, and I've made a bookmark and I'm just taking notes as I go of the characters, because there are so many characters you just don't know who's who after a while, especially if your memory is anything like mine, which is, I've got a goldfish memory. I don't remember things very well at all. But anyway, that it's not as good as Girl on the Train, I don't think. The Girl on the Train, I read it within 3 days. I just couldn't put it down. This one, I'm picking it up whenever I can, but it's not something that I'm looking forward to as much as Girl on the Train. But it's a good read. So yeah. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will try to answer them in my next video. I will thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, for your thumbs up and for your comments. And I will see you again, hopefully at the end of this month. Bye.